synchronize. Now you may be saying to yourself, you filthy weirdo, that's not coffee, that's something white. Are you drinking glue? The answer is hopefully not. This is, in fact, salt milk, which I know sounds like I took a bunch of milk and put ordinary table salt in it, and I assure you that's not what it is. It's not ordinary table salt, it's potassium chloride. The interesting thing is the human body can fill up with a ton of sodium. Your sodium levels can go massively high, and it doesn't really affect your medical health other than raising your blood pressure. However, your body cannot do the same thing with potassium. So, whereas sodium can cause you to bloat, if your body attempts to store potassium, it will cause your heart to stop. So, you literally cannot drink too much of it and get all swollen and bloated, because your heart will stop and you die before that happens. Fortunately, I have at least one good kidney, so I don't have to worry about that. Your kidneys will automatically remove potassium from your bloodstream. It never really gets high enough to kill most people. The point of this whole thing isn't in fact the stuff I'm drinking, as salty as it is. It's the glass it's in. Because this was the same type of glass, which can no longer have salt milk drunk from it because this glass has broken. And I am not a British hooligan, so I have no use for broken glass to attack somebody in a pub. What I want to do is attempt to fix this. You say, well, I was about to put that on my forehead like this, but that doesn't work when it's sharp glass. Which is the whole problem. It's too sharp to drink out of. I'd cut my lips on that. What I wanted to do was to put the glass pieces back on. That doesn't work. It's not possible to glue glass because it's simply too smooth. You can get it to be structurally there, kind of, but you can never really restore it, especially to like a liquid holding level with ordinary techniques. So what I intend to do is cut it off. Cut off all the broken pieces and make a smooth rim, and I'll have like a shot glass size thing. Oh, the salt milk is trying to come back. No, you stay down in there. But how to cut glass? So cutting glass is not actually very easy. It's not at all easy, kind of like killing a man with a guitar. So you can't just take a hacksaw and cut through this, because why? Because glass is harder than steel. And you say, well, I can hit a steel plate with things and it doesn't break. When I hit glass, it shatters. It's because glass is very brittle, not because it's softer. It is physically harder. You can't take a piece of steel and scratch glass. I've tried. It doesn't really work. Other than like at maybe a microscopic level, you might be able to accomplish something. But even then, I'm actually doubtful that actually works. Glass is made of silica primarily. It also has a high concentration of like sodium. So it's slightly under 7 in terms of hardness on the Mohs scale, which is entirely qualitative, so not actually as helpful as you'd think, but a lot easier to understand. So basically the only things that you can use to cut glass are things above 7, and that's corundum, I think topaz, and diamond. Now of all those things, I happen to have acquired this. Can you even see that? It's a diamond tip. So it is a tip for a Dremel tool that is made of diamond. Not a single piece of diamond, that would be insane. It's actually metal with tiny, nearly microscopic diamonds put in it to be a nice abrasive thing. Diamonds are actually not that expensive. They're expensive when they're large, and even then not really. And actually most diamonds are synthetic these days. Like, do you really think they go dig up diamonds out of the ground when they could just make one out of methane gas? The thing that always confuses me with diamonds is, like, if we were to draw like a mile radius around me right now and say what gemstone is the most common in that mile. Where I live, there's no diamonds in the ground, but I can assure you the most common precious gemstone in that circle will be diamonds, because everybody has some of them. Even I have the ones in this bit. I don't have any jewelry because jewelry is nonsensical in terms of a person who doesn't go outside because the sunlight horribly burns his skin. Always check for spiders. I don't know if this will even work. I don't know how loud it will be if it is. Well, okay. Didn't slap me in the back of the head this time. Disturbing how well this goes through glass. Like, I think of glass as being like untouchably hard, and this was just going through it like butter. You say, well, that doesn't. This is also glass dust. Probably very toxic to breathe. Not really. It's amorphous, so it's not. Which is the bad silica to breathe? Is it amorphous or is it crystalline? It's one of the two. It's not silica anyway, it's glass. Oh, the salt milk is trying to come back up, so I gotta bury that down. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. So, you notice it's still attached. So I didn't go all the way through. I didn't even attempt to. Because scientifically, that's not as interesting as what I intend to do. What I intend to do is take advantage of a little known property called hopefully not exploding in my face. And what I mean is thermal shock. I intend to heat this up in my oven to about 500 degrees and then drop it in cold water. At the very least, the top part. Now, two things could happen because that will put the glass under extreme tension. Hopefully, if I am to dip it in the water, the tension developing from this side cooling and shrinking versus this side will cause internal fractures. That shatters glass a lot of the time. Like if you take this glass and heat it up and drop it, it'll just... The hope is that this score that I've made with the Dremel tool will act to stop crack progression, so it's already a weakened point in the glass. As a crack forms, it will hit that, and the cracks will propagate around that and snap off the top. It might, I mean, if I literally drop this in water, I think it would shatter the whole thing. So I'm going to have to find some way to hold this thing at, how in the world am I going to do that?
Well, I'm now at my own stove. Lying. I don't own this stove, but it's somebody's stove. There's a bucket of ice water. Is my ice? Not really. It's made of someone else's water. 500. That's the number of degrees in freedom units. Now I've got this little silicone glove, which should protect my hand, although at 500 degrees Fahrenheit, silicone will start to work through. This is... Ooh, it's hot. Don't want to drop my phone in there. Alright. I'll grab it by the end and dip it, and let's see what happens. Not good. I'm just going to drop the whole thing in. It's making a sound. It's done making a sound. I think that means it's now down to temperature. Oh, it is still very hot, even though it's in cold water. That attributes to the insulating properties of glass. It'll take a second for the temperature to actually get down. I can already tell from here. The process failed, but it did so in a very interesting way. So, the score did not stop crack propagation throughout the entirety of the glass. The entire glass shattered, but it's still in one piece, due to shattering at different parameters on the inside and outside of the glass. That's actually kind of pretty. I don't know what to use it for, but it's,
Why do I look like I'm about to fall asleep? I don't know. It's just something about the way the camera doesn't catch my eyes and I look like I'm squinting. Oh, I'm not, I promise. This looks kind of pretty, to be honest, but it's totally useless. I wonder if those two actually correlate. Don't have time to think about it right now. The whole process didn't really work. this one was a failure, unfortunately, but we can learn from that failure and the realization that working with glass is way harder than I thought. But I'll probably still turn it into a video, because why not? But rather than go blab on about something, I don't know.